Hello and welcome to Golden Dongle, quest for the Golden Dongle. My name is Ivy, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm joined here today by my friend Jorge.
Hello, I am Jorge. I am also questing for the golden dongle. My pronouns are he, him, and I may or may not be a capybara.
I'm pretty sure you are a capybara.
I don't know.
I,
Sometimes I see the mirror and I see not a capybara.
it's funny, like so many of the videos recommended to me on Instagram are cappy videos, and it's like them like bathing with oranges on their head and stuff.
I
They're
know.
so
They
cute.
inspire me.
They're
That's
inspiring.
yes, that's why I'm so like attached to them like as creatures. They just I want this level of chill in real
I
life.
Right. I was about to say that. Like that level of chill is hard to obtain as a
I need
human
peace.
being.
Right, so only creature can become peace.
Only creature. Yes. And yeah, so today I had kind of an early morning. I went golfing with my wife, which it was fun. I sweated
Ooh.
a lot more than I thought I would because we are golfing in Memphis in
Yes.
and it's pretty warm. I did pretty well. I actually hit the ball and it went kind of where I wanted it to.
That's
Like
what you do.
you wouldn't think though that it's like difficult, but golfing is actually difficult. It takes constant practice. Like we go to the driving range and stuff. So
Wow.
but it's surprisingly meditative. Like when you hit a good shot, you feel good about it. So
So you got into this. Like this was not something you thought you'd be into.
oh yeah, like so I mean, I always kind of like meant to get into watching it. Then I got into watching it and betting on it. But yes,
Hey.
yes, I am also a degenerate gambler. Now you know my secret. Yes,
Oh, that's right. We have a soundboard now. Let's go.
we do. It's magnificent. It gives me such power. So if you feel the need to do it, you should.
Do it. Do it.
Yes. Okay. I'm very excited to expand our sound language.
Yes, it'll be fun. It'll be very unique. It'll be a unique experience. But yes, today, so I did that. It was fun. Walking around the golf course. You know what? It was very zen. It was a nice experience. And you know
I
what?
would never have imagined. I kind of, I'll admit, I kind of look down on golf. I am one of those haters that you know about. Uh,
So
I
are
am
you a hater for like wasting land, quote unquote?
yeah, I would 100% walk into a golf course and poop on it if I could. Uh,
Like
because
all I have to
that's land.
yeah, oh well. I got into it and I wanted to be like this conservationist type and I still am. Like I still, go wildlife. But like
I 100% like I if I'm not a capybara, I'm an alligator. I would 100% be the gator that walks into the golf
yeah, I mean,
club and like terrorizes everybody.
I've recently watched so much golf and they do have gators and
Yes,
they should yeah, and yeah, I don't know. So I kind of dig the Zen aspect of it and also
I can understand that.
improving yourself. Like each time you go, you improve your shots, you improve your understanding of the game, you
Mm.
kind of hone your skills. So it's kind of been an interesting type of a thing for me. And also spending time with my wife, so we bonded over it. So
I see that. That's nice. I genuinely mean that. I don't mean that. Like,
no,
mean like.
I feel you. And I
Okay.
appreciate that. Yeah. But everyone's entitled to their opinions.
Right. My opinion is I will poop in the golf hole.
You can poop in the golf hole.
Yoda would poop in the golf hole.
Yeah, he would definitely run up there and produce some logs.
Oh my god. Well, was it, I hope that was cool though. Like,
It was fun, yeah. I got into it. It was fun. But I was like, I have to say, afterwards, like, I was sweating so much. We were there for like an hour and a half, and I was just really tired
I mean,
afterwards.
I bet it's pretty hot out right now. I was last week. I was at the beach with my dad. We were at a. He has a friend who rents out a little beach apartment on the east side of Puerto Rico, and we spent a few days
Oh,
there,
wow. So,
and
wait,
it was
did you?
gorgeous.
So, you flew out there to Puerto Rico?
I was actually there last week. I just got back.
No
I
shit.
got back last night. Yeah, last night.
Damn, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, and it was a bittersweet trip.
Mm
Because you love family, but also family. They push your buttons. They
hmm. Mm hmm.
they know your weak points.
Yes,
We don't have to get into that.
the familia. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we will be talking about the familia
Oh
today.
my God, we sure will. And I'm sad to say I couldn't find the golden dongle. I was in the I admit, while
Did
I
you
was in
drop
Puerto
it somewhere
Rico,
in the
that's
Caribbean?
the thing. I was wondering, like, you know what? I have to fly back. I have to make sure it's not there.
Right.
A small island, so
So you searched the
I made
island and
sure. Yes, I made sure. It is actually pretty small. You can round trip it like all around the coast, all along the coast in like 8 hours. I want to say 8 to 6 hours.
that's amazing.
Uh, yeah, it's a small island, but yeah, I love the beach. I am also a beach creature, not just a capybara. I don't know what like they say. I don't know. People call themselves beach fleas when they like the beach. I don't like that term. It sounds gross.
I don't think I've
Uh,
heard that one. And I'm
I
from Long Island, New York, so
I've heard people say that, and I'm like, that's nasty. Don't call
wow.
yourself that.
Yeah, like I don't like that. Like I don't want to get fleas at the beach.
Right, fleas suck. Why would you be a flea
Ew.
anyway?
Okay.
But I love the beach. I'm the kind of person if salt water gets in my mouth, I'm like, let's fucking go.
you're like
This is
you're
awesome.
like I'm ready to make out with the ocean.
Yes, oh my God. Like me, at one point, me and my brother walked along the beach at night, which I rarely do because
Ooh.
it's scary as shit. But it is an experience. You kind of feel like the pull of the
Right.
ocean,
It
like a
has a certain I don't want to say like presence, but it creates an atmosphere for sure.
it does. It's like thrilling because it's kind of scary, but it's also very peaceful. You see the natural moonlight. It
Right.
creates like an atmosphere. You're right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I think that isolation from society is very soothing.
100%. And it was a weekday, so no one was there,
Mhm.
which made it even better.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I've actually come to appreciate the beach more as I've gotten older
I'm
and have more
glad. Let's
responsibilities.
go. Let's go.
And you're gonna like this. So in 2 weeks, like literally 2 weeks from today, my wife and I are going to Los Angeles. You know
To
what they
go
have?
to the beach?
Yeah, you know what they? I mean, they have. You know they have beaches in Los Angeles.
Yes, it's a coastal city.
Yeah,
But there's
so
all sorts of things you can do there too.
there are, and we are planning to do all the bullshit tourist things, but
That's
for
awesome.
the most part, we are staying in Santa Monica,
Oh, gotcha.
literally on the street that's right off the beach. So
Perfect.
our hotel will be facing the water.
Oh, you can walk to it? Is that
Yup,
what you're saying? That's the
absolutely.
best.
Yeah, like
That's the tits. Let's go.
yeah, I specifically chose that hotel because I'm like, you know what? We're gonna be right there. Uh, if you head north, we can go to Malibu. If you go south, we can go to Venice Beach. So basically, we'll just be beaching it up like a lot of the time.
I
And
love it.
yeah, and it'll also be an opportunity to like uh, so I've been, being trans and everything and like wearing a swimsuit and stuff. It's nice. It's like a good experience. So
Huh. Yeah,
that
I never thought about it.
yeah, so it's like it's a different experience for me now. So
Okay.
like not exposing my chest because I don't like that. Also, I have boobs, so I can't
Oh.
do that.
No, honestly, I feel like we should have an episode about just these experiences because
Yeah.
for me, it's very insightful to me because, like, yeah, like I don't know.
Oh yeah, like
Uh,
a lot of things that I used to experience living as a dude have changed. So,
I
um,
bet.
yeah, like there's a lot of societal things that change when you transition, and it could be something small like that little anecdote that I just brought up, like going to the beach. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to get dysphoria like not having a shirt on, and
Wow. So like that, I guess that's one way to know, right? Like,
oh
why
yeah,
do I feel weird when I don't
oh
have a
yeah,
shirt on?
there's all these little signs of discomfort like that.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's been like a nice. That's also a nice experience. Like, oh, getting to wear just
Good.
like dresses to the beach and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you feel comfortable with a swimsuit? Or,
yeah, like, and I'm not talking about like bikini or anything. Like, it'll have like a skirt built onto it and stuff,
gotcha,
and
gotcha.
like,
Okay.
but like a separate top too. So it is a two piece, but you get what I'm saying. It's
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So it's more of that kind of a thing. But yeah, no, it's been a nice experience, and I'm looking forward to that aspect of it too. Just getting to wear nice outfits and stuff. So
I'm glad. Yeah.
yeah, so it'll be a whole thing. Get to experience the beach, the culture of Los Angeles, and the endless traffic. I'll report back on my findings on
Excellent.
their culture in terms of driving cars.
Oh, don't worry. My brother actually lives in LA, so I know all about
Does
it.
he? See, I've never
Yeah.
been, and I've never been to California.
Hmm.
So isn't that wild? I've never been.
I mean, I've never been, but it's not that crazy to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I guess just like a lot of people have been who live in the United States, so it's like
I see.
I kind of feel like I'm kind of like late to the party on the California game, on the West Coast game.
You're
But
fine.
yes, yes, and another place I want to travel is Italy because
You know,
what?
I do too.
Yeah, as an
Yeah.
Italian, because
That's
your
right.
girl is an Italian. Uh, I feel a special affinity for Italy, but also JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind.
That's what we're here for, after all. We're not here to talk about the fucking beach. We're here to talk about fucking Italy and fucking Versace and fucking
Versace.
Moschino or Monchino. Oh no, oh there we go. Yep.
Moschino.
Moschino. Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna need some Italian help here.
Okay.
How do you say? Because they always,
Yeah.
something I noticed about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 is that they actually write it in Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So
They do.
they say parte. How do you say five in Italian?
Cinque.
Cinque. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's how they say it, and they even write it down like that in Japanese.
Yeah, because
Uh,
Araki is such an Italy buff that
He went to Italy and he instantly went Italy weeb.
he made it
And
his whole fucking personality.
honestly, like from part 5 on, there's things that stayed. Like the art style. This is where we
Oh,
see
I fucking love
the
the art style.
really intense shift in art style.
Okay,
Uh,
I love the latter half of part four's art because it's basically becoming part five.
that's when it starts. Yeah, that's when it starts.
Right.
When JoJo stops being like giant
Giant muscle man.
sexy men to what
Twink.
is it, like, yeah, like, yeah, it starts being like fashion model twinks.
Yes.
And like I'm okay with either one of them. I actually love early JoJo because it's full
Sure.
of like giant Adonis like, but also like androgynous effeminate men.
Yes.
Like it's very interesting.
No,
uh
that's the thing, and that's one thing I love about the JoJo comics. He does have fun with gender, and he never let
oh
that
yeah, yeah.
constrain his designs. He was always like willing to push into, you know, like you were saying, androgynous territory or like super
Yes.
masculine or like he's all over the map.
Yeah, Araki-san, he was like really cool at this. Really comfortable with that, honestly, like, which is
Right.
admirable because
I
like
love
every
it.
other Shonen Jump. Actually, I would like to know what else was published around this time. 95 is when Part 5 started.
Yeah.
Uh, because it had to have stood out in the crowd, you know, for how unique it looks, and it already had the pedigree. So Araki was in a really fortunate place where he could just experiment with his art while he was working,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
people would love it because they already love JoJo.
Right. And that sometimes the history of JoJo gets me like it really puts my thoughts about it in perspective. I'm like, "Holy crap, this part was made in 1995 like you just said." I'm
Yes,
like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, I was 7 when this came out." I'm like, "What
How
the
old was
hell?"
I?
You must
I
have been like 9 or
was
something.
I was 9. Yeah, 9 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I was. Oh my. Yeah, that's like. It is because I. So for context, the reason we're doing this episode is because I just recently finished. What
Right.
was it?
Cinque.
Cinque. Parte cinque. This was. I want to learn Italian,
I
by the
love
way,
that
because
you.
like.
I love that you're just like parte cinque.
Well, that I want to learn Italian because it's so close to Spanish. Like I
It is.
understand a third of Italian because it has the same Latin roots.
That's awesome.
Uh, so it's cool. I really want to learn it. But anyway,
No,
uh,
it's funny. I took Italian for a few years in school, and like I know some of the language, but at the same time, it's like I haven't really actively been studying it, so I have to kind of brush up on it.
yeah, language is like a bicycle. You need to like keep doing it
Right.
to. A lot of people say you get on a bike, you'll never forget. I'm like, that's not true. You gotta practice.
You're gonna forget.
Yeah, you are. It happened to me when I moved here to the U.S. because I'm
Wow.
from Puerto Rico originally. My English got much better, but my Spanish got really rusty.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's
yeah, because I
and
just didn't use it as much.
and that's fascinating because it's where you grew up. It's the language
Yes,
you basically started with.
yeah, it's my first language.
That's
So 23
fascinating.
years I lived in Puerto Rico, but a few years in Atlanta made my Spanish get
Wow.
worse. Yep, it do be like that. But then like I met people here who spoke Spanish, and that really helped.
That is,
Same,
yeah, that's amazing. I've never heard
yeah,
of that before.
yeah. Same with like I reconnected with some friends online, and they have what we call Spanglish, which is like a it's like a soup of both
Right.
English and Spanish. But it helps like using language constantly is what keeps you like good at it.
That's
It's
awesome.
very interesting how the brain can forget that stuff. Anyway, let's get to JoJo because
Golden
we
Wind.
have a lot to get through.
Okay.
This
So,
might be a two-parter. I'm just gonna say.
okay. Oh,
Uh,
geez. Okay. Well, then, you know what? That would actually give me more time to read up on this, to do my
yeah, yeah.
reread. So I
If
have
we can't
read.
get through it all, don't worry about it.
So I have read this series before. My initial opinion of Golden Wind when I first read it was
Yes, I'm curious about this because
I
I have
thought it
things to
was
say.
yeah, I thought it was a better version of Stardust Crusaders
Wow.
because they were on a journey from point A to point B being attacked by douchebags. And right? Am I right though with the
They really
premise?
are. At first, they really are. And I
And
have
so
it's
it
another thing I want to talk about, but go on.
no, I'm just saying it felt like plot wise, the way it progresses, it does
Hmm.
feel like a retread of part three. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it is a new story.
Hmm.
But when I first read it, I kind of had a problem with Giorno. Like, he didn't, after coming off of the protagonists for parts 1 through 4, I felt he was a weak entry in the JoJo
Oh, this is
universe.
something I hear a lot of people say, actually.
However,
Okay, here we go.
I think upon starting my reread, I appreciate his character more now.
Oh,
Not every, I'm thinking about it, not every character has to have the same personality. Not every main character in a series is going to be a type A personality in your face, you know, that sort of a dude. But, Giorno, he is more reserved as a character. He is more calm as a character. He's more calculated, I would say, than somebody like Josuke or
absolutely.
Joseph. Right? So
We love Joseph.
I think his personality fits the mafia aesthetic they're going for. The
He demonstrates
mafioso.
qualities. He demonstrates qualities of a leader even early on.
Yes. And
I think that was Araki was going for. That's why he's more like let's analyze our opponent before we act.
right, and
And
he's always impressing his teammates as they progress
yeah,
through.
like inspiring them as a leader. Like
Yeah, and they'll be scrambling, and then all of a sudden they'll look to Giorno for advice, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
will guide them to win the fight. And that is, the way that this story works. It's set in the confines of a mafia family, right?
Yeah.
It's set in that structure, and in that structure, what you have is rigid leadership. Everyone always looks to the person above them
Gotcha.
for guidance, and I think they kind of accomplish that because Giorno, his dream is to be the new boss. So what is he doing? He's being the new boss.
I think what I like about it, you're right, and I think what I like about it a lot is that it comes naturally to him.
Oh yeah.
You can tell that he's not, or how do I say this? You can tell there's an arc for his character in terms of like his strength and his ability to like deal with certain situations. He's inexperienced, but he has the qualities, like he has the natural qualities of a leader, which are like guide everybody, inspire them, let each person use their strengths when necessary, and that's really cool because like at first he does come off as like a boring main character because he doesn't have the showboating that Joseph had. He doesn't have that like infectious nobility that Jonathan had. He doesn't have the cool factor that Jotaro had, and he's not like just a guy like
Josuke.
Josuke.
Yeah.
He's not the everyman like Josuke was, and that it does at first it hits you a little hard like, oh, he's, and like the knee-jerk reaction is to think, oh, he's kind of boring, like
Yes.
and again, that at first seems like a bad thing, but what I think it does brilliantly is that it highlights the personalities of the other characters.
It does, and again, that speaks to the team environment.
Right.
Go Team Mafia.
Goes, Jesus, what is this?
Well, you're literally rooting for the Mafia in this one.
I mean, it's the Godfather effect. Like, we're endearing ourselves to these mobsters.
Right. Right. Because
we root for the ones with a heart of gold.
Listen, Jorge, they're folk heroes. they're helping the people, and they're going against the government.
Of course. I mean, that is half true. Yes, that
Yes.
was a reason people looked up to the mob back then. That was
Right?
like a community thing.
I love the Godfather movies. We've talked about them before.
Really? Did we?
We did. We mentioned it in episode 1. We actually brought up the Godfather Part 3.
Oh crap! That's gonna have to be an episode because I love those movies too.
Do you? Yeah, we're gonna have to discuss that because I do want to do that as well.
I was just rewatching them because I finished The Sopranos.
Oh my god!
Oh,
We're
let me
gonna have
tell
to
you.
talk about all these.
Yes, let me tell you. Watching
Oh,
The
God.
Sopranos and reading JoJo Part 5 was like wine and cheese.
You're a mafia boy.
I loved it. I think they go together a little too well. But anyway, back to JoJo.
Jorge, you're a paisan.
No, stop.
You're a fellow. You're my paisan now.
I just think it's a good show.
Yeah, you want to be in the
Sopranos
mafia?
is a great
Stop
show.
it.
I do not. I would, first of all, I would not be welcome.
You could be an associate. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Sopranos did not have a lot of nice things to say about Puerto Ricans. I'll just say that.
They didn't say anything nice about anyone. They even badmouthed other Italians.
At some points, yes, there was that. I would rather join Passione before I join the De Meo crime family.
All right, listen. I love that you know their name. I love that you name drop the De Meo crime family. But here's
this.
Oh, and wait, what was the thing you just said before that though? Oh, Passione. Yes.
Yeah. Is
So
it Passione with like a
Passione.
okay?
I
Because
think
I was
that's
saying Passione.
Passion. Yeah, I think it's more of a sound. I could be
Ah,
wrong. Hey, people, jump in and correct me. Um, but yeah, you
no,
mentioned
don't
that
tell him to
I
shut up.
listen. I too want to join the gay twink mafia.
Do it.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So okay. I got something really funny to say. I love when Bruno. I love when Bruno Bucchiarati is like,
oh
you
Bucciarati.
see. Oh, is it Bucciarati?
Yeah, Bucciarati.
Okay.
I
I love
think.
when he. I love when he's like, you see, we have to be unassuming.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the family is hiding
Mm-hmm.
amongst the civilians. And I'm like, no, you're fucking not. Have you seen yourself in the mirror?
Holy
We can
shit!
spot you a mile away. You can tell who the mobsters are immediately in
Oh
this
my
manga.
god! Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Here's the thing about that. We were watching the anime, right? My wife and I, we started watching part five.
I've
So,
heard it's pretty good. I haven't seen it.
okay, I have things to say about it so far, but
Okay. All right. All
here's the
right.
thing. It's like my wife and I are like, you guys are literally walking around in suits with a heart-shaped boob window on the front.
Seriously, yes.
We know who you are,
Everybody, Bruno got titties out. Jordo got titties out.
right?
Like, are you?
Fucking Narancha is wearing his fucking halter neck Versace 1995
What is
top.
that? Right?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my goodness.
everybody knows who they are. You're gay twink mafia. We know. We know you're in that.
Yes, you spot them a mile away. I would walk the other way if I saw him.
I know. It's like
Anyway,
they're not hiding from anyone.
no, that's
There's
yeah.
something.
It was just so funny when Bruno said that to me.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So they take a moral standpoint against drugs because of various reasons. In the
I want
story.
to say that this is definitely a Japanese author kind of thing. Like, Japan is extremely no on drugs.
Yes.
More so than weapons, I think.
Really.
More so than yeah. I think there's very harsh punishment for drugs in Japan, even marijuana.
Oh, I
Like
see.
that's how yeah. So I remember when we went there last year, we couldn't even bring Adderall with us. That's how bad
No
it is.
way.
Yeah. Any prescribed medication, you have to get it while you're there. You cannot bring it into the country.
Oh, that's bizarre and sucks
Yeah.
because like I have hormones and stuff.
I mean, I think what you can do is you can let them know ahead of time,
right.
like you have to contact customs ahead of time before you actually fly. Like, do not go to the airport and tell them, "Hey,
Don't
I
bring
have
drugs to the
this."
airport, kids.
Yeah. So, I think what you have to do is you have to contact them ahead of time, customs, and then in a detailed form write down every medication you plan on bringing, because obviously, like, you shouldn't have to look for medication while you're
Right.
there.
That's fascinating. I did not
So
know
now that I
that.
remember, that's how you actually do it. You have to like a detailed form explain what medication you plan on bringing, what dosage, and all that stuff, and they should let you in as long
Okay.
as it's prescribed.
That is
Um,
definitely good to know.
yes,
So tell
look it
us.
up. Oh,
I will look that up. I'm interested to know what
okay.
is you've taken it seems like you've taken kind of extensive notes or at least bookmarked what you wanted to talk
Oh,
about in terms of
I actually,
I want to know your thoughts.
I actually have the stack of all 9 hardcover volumes. These are the reprints. I think Viz Media did these. Yeah. Um,
Right, those are the ones I'm reading.
Yes, these are great, by the way.
Yes.
Aside from one that has a print error, but I'll get to that later. I have bookmarked every key page that left an impression on me. So
Cool.
I'll start real quick by saying I will be 100% honest. This was a slow burn for me. Out of all the JoJos which have captivated me from page one, this is the one that had to take time. I had to take time with to really endear myself to. So the first few books, I don't have a lot of bookmarks, honestly. Um, on the first one,
Yeah.
I actually bookmarked because, like, we know Koichi's in Italy. He's like a tourist and he's dumb and he's like, "Oh no, where am I?
Right,
What am I
right.
doing? Wow, I'm Koichi!" Even though he's cool, Koichi was my favorite in part four. Um,
Huh.
Yeah, Koichi and
Huh.
Yukako were my favorites.
Well, they were the cute couple.
I
Um,
mean, later.
yeah, yeah, I was a Josuke girl.
Oh, but Yukako is my favorite. I love the crazy girls.
Yes,
I now have a soft
gotta
spot
love
for
the
the
crazy
psychos.
girls.
Yeah.
Cray cray.
So
So yeah, tell us what
yes,
is.
the first page I bookmarked here is Jotaro explaining to Koichi why he wants to look for Giorno.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I bookmarked this is because there's a very cute panel where they show the Stardust Crusaders in Part 5 style. I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
So that's really nice. And then we move on to Bruno when
Mm-hmm.
Bruno first encounters Giorno. And let me tell you something. I don't know why Bruno's such a freak when you first meet him.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he's like he licks Giorno.
he's out
He's
here
like
licking
putting.
people.
He's telling him he wants to put stuff in his mouth. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know. He's like being a real weirdo about it.
Is it a front? Is he trying to like intimidate
Yeah,
him?
I
I
think
don't know.
he's just he doesn't know who Giorno is, so he just thinks he's
Right.
some dick and he's gonna intimidate him.
But then Giorno punches him so hard that he
he
pushes his soul out of his body for a few seconds.
he gave him a Red Bull.
Yeah, he gave him such an adrenaline rush that he sees himself outside of his body.
Right.
Uh, and he gets punched again.
Yeah, yeah. They beat each other up for a while and then they become friends. And
Which
then
is great.
he's like, "Hey, you wanna join the gang? I guess."
Right. Bruno goes like, actually, I'm not really a freak. I apologize. You seem like a good guy. Let's stop drugs.
You seem like a nice twink.
Yeah. There's a really nice titty shot here. I don't know if you can find it of Bruno.
I'll put it up on the video when we.
It's a panel where he's like zipping up his arm, so
Yeah.
he's exposing his shoulder.
Oh right,
It's-
yes, they did that in the anime too. Oh, and what I was gonna say about the anime compared to the comics, I prefer the pacing and dialogue of the comics, and the
Oh,
way that the scenes are laid out compared to the anime. The anime is a little bit more abbreviated because they've got to make it they've got to condense the entire series into 40 episodes.
right. It's far more abridged.
Right. So what you end up with is a couple of scenes are missing or a couple of scenes are combined. Like there's one scene where Koichi is talking to he's talking to Jotaro in the anime and they do it as a flashback where they're both sitting at like a cafe talking rather than him on the phone with Jotaro talking about
Oh,
Giorno.
yeah.
So that's like
Interesting.
that's like a little difference that they did to like make it flow better, I guess, as a on the show. But yeah, please continue. Sorry
Okay.
to jump in with that.
Oh, don't worry. Can I ask you real quick? Who is your favorite character?
Ah, yes, the inevitable question.
I know
Uh,
we should leave this for last, but I want to know right away,
Um,
and we can get into details later.
all right. Honestly, I would say Bruno.
Okay.
Easily Bruno. He has a lot of depth. He's actually a cool character. Like he's not a dick. He actually cares about the team.
I agree.
And he died like many times.
It's really interesting. Like, I know we're skipping a little bit ahead.
No,
but
it's
it's really
fine.
interesting what happens to him near the end.
Oh yes,
Uh,
undead
but
Bruno.
I'll keep that in mind just in case, so that we can have some more Bruno moments. We speak your name. So the first part that I was like, oh, this is funny, this is cool, we're getting the JoJo shit now, finally, is when Giorno receives the lighter from Popo.
Yes.
And he's walking around town and he's being asked to do all these like inane things as favors, and he's just being rude to everybody.
Yes. He's like,
no, I can't.
take our picture, Giorno. And he's like, no.
No.
Help me carry these mops up the stairs. No.
This is where I was like, yes, let's go. This is the goofy shit I'm looking for. I want some of it. So that's when I first started like getting into it more.
You know, now that you mention that, there's a lot of lighthearted stuff in the first chapters of part 5. you
It's
know,
still kind of slow in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, Koichi antics, him getting his luggage stolen and everything, and it's very JoJo-esque.
It's so silly.
It's a bit
I
goofy.
did bookmark a panel that I love. I don't know if you'll find it, but it's the first time we see Black Sabbath.
Hmm.
Uh, I just think this design is so fucking cool.
Yes, I have to say, Black Sabbath was intimidating, and it's a scary ass stand that
I
Araki
know.
created, and I love that whole battle, that whole sequence with
Yeah,
Black Sabbath. I thought it was a very good, very it was very well done. So I'm
yeah.
a fan.
It showcases Giorno's analytical prowess. Like he's very good at being
Right.
patient in a tense situation. This is the first time where that's really brought to light. He feels really bad about the old man who I think is called Mario. Uh,
Yeah,
and
in the color version of the
this is
comics,
I know what you're gonna
they
say because this is
colored him
what I was
like
gonna
Mario. He's wearing the
say.
blue overalls and the red shirt and the red hat. I think in the TV adaptation, I think he's Luigi colors. I think he's like green. Yeah.
Yeah, a little more legally safe. So that's book one.
Ambiguous
Uh,
Mario.
yeah, that's book one highlights for me.
Right.
Book two, first, of course, the classic scene I bookmarked in
Mm-hmm.
volume two is uh, when Giorno meets the gang for the first time.
Oh boy.
The
When he meets.
our boys Fugo Panacota,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Guido Mista,
Yes.
Narancia Girga. I remember their names. How do you pronounce Narancia's last name?
Narancha.
Narancia.
Yeah. So Narancha.
But no, Narancia's last name is like Gurga or Girga. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Girga would be
And then my favorite, Leone Abacchio.
Abacchio.
Abacchio, thank you.
So when you see a
Uh,
ch in a name or a word, it's going to be a hard k sound, like a k, like k.
oh, but I think he has two C's.
Does he?
Let me look because he introduces
Oh
it.
yeah, I do see that. I don't know. I'm going
Uh,
by they pronounced it as Abacchio in the anime.
oh, okay, Abacchio.
Yes.
Uh, so
Honestly,
I love
their JoJo names don't put too much pressure on yourself.
I love that we the first impression we get of these gangsters is that they're insane.
Yeah,
Uh,
they'll stab you in
Mista,
the
who
they'll stab you in the face with a fork for doing math wrong.
while Leone is my favorite, I think Guido Mista I like more. I think he's my favorite.
Yeah, Mista's
Early,
he's you know what it is? He goes through a lot. Mista endures a lot, and
yes.
he fights like hell.
So even though at first I was endeared to Leone because I was like, oh, he looks fucking cool. Like I like that
Sephiroth
guy.
looking motherfucker.
Lipstick wearing motherfucker.
Yeah.
So but then as the story went on, I feel like out of the gangsters or the main gang, Mista's my favorite because
Right.
he's just he like I was
Mista's
like, oh
cool.
shit. I had one of those like, oh shit, it's me for real. Like moments with Mista, like a character, like he every time he gets in a fight, he just like unloads his gun, rush
Bam
down,
bam bam.
shoot first, ask questions later. I'm like, shit, that's me. God damn it. I am very act first, ask questions later. Um, and I love his attitude. I love that he's a badass and a goof. But he's complaining about four slices of cake on a plate because he's very superstitious,
Yes.
which I am not. So that part is kind of interesting, but it makes him really funny because he's like a tough guy, but he's superstitious. I feel like that's a very like a mafioso thing to
Right.
be. Um, and then we see Fugo and Narancia are studying math, and Narancia decides that 16 times 55 is 28. Even though Fugo has been very patient with him, he stabs him with a fork and says,
In the
"Are you
face.
mocking me, you little punk?"
He stabs him in the face with the fork. Yes.
Him in the face,
And
and
then
it's like, do you think I'm stupid?
and then I bet you're going to mention the famous scene with Abakio.
Yes, Abakio. Oh wow, this is a really good panel when they all turn to look at Giorno.
Uh-huh.
If you can find that, put it on the screen. That would be
Mm-hmm.
great. But yes, right after that, we see Abakio pissing in a cup of tea,
In a tea kettle, yeah.
in a teapot. Yes, a tea kettle.
Teapot.
So, which is very funny because at first I was like, "What the hell is he doing?" Oh, and I'm like, "Okay,
He's like,
these
drink
guys
it,
are."
Giorno.
Yeah, and everyone's like, hey,
Drink my
hey,
piss, Giorno.
here we go. Like this is some kind of rite of passage or something. So you have to. It makes you wonder: did everyone else drink his piss at some point? Uh, but then
Oh,
Giorno like knocks that shit down, swigs it back, and reveals that he transformed his tooth into a piss-sucking jellyfish.
yeah, or like a jellyfish that was made from the piss. I don't know how is right. It's like okay,
It's,
piss jellyfish. Woo!
either way, they're all very impressed,
Right.
and Giorno has this smug look on his face, like you're all keeping your abilities secret, aren't you? And
Yes.
that was one of the highlights early on as well. I'm like, okay, I'm here for the party. These guys look fun.
They're a bunch of
They
lovable assholes.
they're a bunch of lovable assholes. Later on, we have Mista feeding his another scene that I just like. I loved. It endeared me to him. Was him feeding his little stand slices of
So,
pepperoni.
oh
Oh
yeah,
no,
the
Tuscan salami.
Tuscan
It's yummy.
salami. Here's some gabagool.
Yeah, he's giving him the capicola,
Yeah.
and they're loving it. They're devouring that sausage. But then they have to go to sleep. They have to have a rest because they get sad.
They're just little guys.
And
They're
I'm
just
like,
little guys
okay.
that live inside his gun.
So Sex Pistols was also my favorite stand early on because of this. They're little
It,
guys you have to take care of.
yes, they're like a Tamagotchi for your bullets.
That's a great way to put it. Oh, and before I move on, I do have to mention the random ass dance number that
Oh,
these motherfuckers pull
yes.
after kind of murdering a man. Uh,
They make a decapitated man who still is alive
yes.
watch them do a coordinated in sync style dance on the boat on a yacht.
And they
So
burned his retina earlier with his own with some sunglasses or some lenses too, which is
oh,
insane because they're dancing while he's in pain.
here's the thing. So I was mentioning this to my wife yesterday when we were watching one of the episodes of part 5. So it was the part where Koichi was sneaking into Giorno's room, and Giorno turned the light fixture into a snake, and it bit the loaf of bread that was holding the lighter.
Oh yeah.
And I go to my wife. I'm like, good luck trying to explain this scene to anybody who's never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, I sounded insane just now trying to explain that scene to you.
Well, to be fair, one thing that I'm still kind of mixed on with Giorno is that I like his powers are just kind of malleable.
Yeah, they
Uh,
are. Yeah, they are.
they just change with the situation. My youngest brother Leo, he explained it pretty well. Which I thought was an interesting theory, is that his ability is to give life,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a Haman ability, like
Right.
something he may have inherited from Jonathan Joestar, because
I like that
as
explanation.
yeah, I loved it too because we have to remember with Dio, Brando,
Mm-hmm.
as
Of the
he
of the
was
Brandos.
of the Brando family, which apparently was not a very good bunch of people,
No, his dad was
uh,
terrible.
was in occupation of Jonathan Joestar's body when he possibly fucked and
You
procreated.
would not believe how many times I've mentioned this. And I've mentioned it to my wife a couple of times. I was like,
That is
I was like,
kind of messed up.
yeah, it was messed up. He's like, yeah, he's like using Jonathan's cock.
Yes, pretty much. He is fucking women because I'm pretty sure he like that's not the only lay he had.
No, no, no. They even
And
explained. They even explained. Oh
he was
yeah,
fucking dudes too. So he was just putting Jonathan's dick everywhere.
right. Into all over the place, into butts. Just everywhere.
Just for some reason, this one woman lives to tell the tale, and she just kind of is like, "All right, I had a kid. Okay, I'm done. Bye." And
I'm not
I don't
watching
know.
this kid. I'm gonna leave him at home.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. It's like like for some reason Dio did not kill this woman or turn her into a vampire. Which, by the way, Giorno might be half vampire or a quarter at least.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna kind of ignore the whole vampire thing now.
It's I that just crosses my mind every once in a while. And I'm like, okay, maybe Gold Experience has these powers, and they might be vampiric as well. Like maybe the jellyfish sucking piss is like a vampiric ability.
Yeah. So for the people at home who don't know,
People
Dio was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1. He became a vampire because he put on this ancient Mayan mask or something, and it made him a vampire.
I think it was an Aztec mask.
Well, it
was
made him
Central American mask.
and it made him a vampire, and that's all you need to know apparently.
It is my favorite part in Phantom Blood. Okay, I will say this right now for the record.
Okay.
I am a Phantom Blood defender. It is my favorite chapter.
What do you mean defender? Is somebody like
because
saying it's
apparently
bad?
apparently that's like the unpopular opinion, like Phantom Blood
People don't
being one's favorite.
Really?
Yeah. I've gotten shit on for saying I like Phantom Blood. Not not in a aggressive way, but people going like, why? Just giving me that weird like reaction.
Phantom Blood, I would consider that a safe favorite. Like anything from
Really? Okay.
Anything from 1 to 3. If you're like, oh yeah, this is my favorite JoJo part, I'd be like, okay, that's like your opinion, man.
That's interesting.
But
I love Phantom Blood. It's my favorite one.
I gotta say, I think part 5 is becoming my favorite.
Interesting. I even after I read 5, I still maintain 1 as my favorite.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, for the longest time, part 4 was my favorite, but
yeah, I remember this.
yeah, I was obsessed with part 4. I thought it was awesome. Part 6 is really good. I love the art. I love lesbian fashion jail.
Okay, real quick. The reason I wanted to read 5 is because I want to get to 6. Because Jolene is so cool looking.
Oh, she's fine.
I see her. I'm like, God damn, why are you so fucking cool? I want to read this. I want to see the story. I want to read this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I actually read most of part 6, and then I watched like the whole anime. So I got the whole story.
That's the next one for me.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy part 6, and I'm pretty sure the books are out. The hardcovers.
They're currently being published in English.
Okay.
So they're still not done.
But yeah, I'm only slightly ahead of you. I've only finished part 6, so I didn't do Steel Ball Run or JoJolian or whatever you call it, JoJolion.
Margot.
Yeah.
I think it's JoJolian.
Yeah, it's I don't know what that.
Margot, my wife, loves Steel Ball Run.
Does she?
I think that's her favorite next to the second one.
Yeah, it's
part 2.
It's a reboot.
Yes, and I know exactly why, but I'm not gonna spoil it because the game's already spoiled it for me.
That is totally fine. But yes, I think it's funny. I do have to blame getting into mafia-related media as swaying me towards part 5. I will admit that.
Oh my god.
It's funny. So this is actually kind of a personal thing for me. I'll bring up. We like to get real on this show.
We like to get vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that shows a sign of strength, and that you're, that we're truly friends here.
Oh.
So like being Italian, that was something that like I never really took pride in. It's not something that I ever really
It's
talked
it's
about.
conflicting. I can understand how it can be conflicting.
Yeah, but for me, it's conflicting. Like it's a whole thing with my father and stuff because we don't talk or anything and all
Mm.
that.
Hmm.
So, and that was like a very big thing for him. And I'm just like, being Italian, pride and all that stuff. So I was very put off of it for many years. But my wife, she viewed it as something positive, and so then I ended up viewing it as something positive. So I ended up taking pride in it.
Is your wife also Italian?
No, she's not. She's a English lady. She's not from England, but that's her
Oh,
background.
oh, that's I see. I see.
Yes, amongst other things. Um, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so for me, it's a thing that I've become more comfortable with as time went on, and that
Hmm.
I like to consider as a component of myself now. And I think
Okay,
what else had to do with it? I think transitioning also kind of like let me accept myself more.
gotcha.
So I think that also factored into it. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm always curious because I don't. It's not the kind of question I want to ask like anyone I know that is Italian. That is like, it's such a stereotype. It's such a cringe thing to do. Like, oh, well, what do you think of The Godfather? Like,
I've heard it all
I,
though, so you could ask
oh
me
my God,
anything.
that's the no, but that's the thing. I don't wanna because like I'm sure you get this all the fucking time.
What, asking me
So
about The Godfather?
yeah, like no, I don't want to do that. So, but the thing is, like, I am curious because like I
If
know people, I know people who have divisive opinions about that. Some people take pride in it as a form of like art.
yeah.
Like, well, this was a film that was made and it was a good movie. But then
Yeah.
there's people who like, no, this portrays like this was very harmful to us as a community, and we
Right.
don't want
There's
it. Like,
a yeah, as a harmful Italian American stereotype and all that.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Which I understand because like I know all about harmful stereotypes.
it's funny.
So
We have definitely, as a society, glorified the uh, media presentation of the mafia in recent years, especially when it comes to, you know, we were talking about different TV series like The Sopranos
yeah,
and,
yeah.
especially The Sopranos, I will say. I think that kind
Hmm.
of reignited the whole interest in media about the mafia and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I have fun with it. I don't specifically think of it as a negative that affects me at all. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't really let it affect me. And I enjoy those movies too. Believe me, I do the little hand thing. That Italians do when they emphasize their
Wait,
words.
oh
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I do that. So it's not. The thing is, in the culture, uh, in terms of what do you call it? Pop culture, right?
Yeah.
It's become a part of pop culture. Um,
At this point, yeah, 100%.
the gangster, as presented by James Gandolfini,
I
Marlon
love him.
Brando.
I can't tell you something. I have a
Yeah,
crush on James
really,
Gandolfini.
Jimmy.
He is dad as fuck.
He
Like
is daddy.
it's like both goals and also wood. So rest in peace, you handsome man.
He was
Handsome man.
great. He's such a great
Uh,
actor, and he always seemed like a really nice guy in interviews
that's
and
the
stuff.
thing. Like that's actually what drew me into him more because when I found out, like when I read started listening to interviews, he was nothing like Tony Soprano. He was just a guy,
Yeah,
and he was a sweet guy. And I'm like, oh
yep.
damn,
I know because
we
he
lost a
played.
good one. It's so
We
sad.
did. He played such an.
Uh,
He did. He really brought life to that series. Like he was
oh yeah,
the reason to watch that show.
yeah.
Essentially,
I love the thing I love about his character portrayal is how good he is at like the thing that I found fascinating about Tony Soprano is like he's a child and there's a child inside of him.
yes.
And James did a really good job of portraying like the child inside of him whenever like the narrative needed it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's stay focused on what
No,
we're
but this is
actually talking
fine
about.
because this also has to do with JoJo Part 5. you
It
know?
does, and I actually watched both JoJo, and Sopranos at the same time. It was crazy. It worked. How
It does
so well.
work. And you know what? I'm actually reading uh what do you call it? I'm actually reading a book called Mafia Dynasty.
Oh goodness.
It's about the Gambino crime family
Okay.
in New York. And it spans the history from like the early 1900s until like John Gotti in the 1980s. So it's like a whole history, and I was reading that alongside JoJo Part Five, and
Wow.
it complemented it.
You know, I believe it. It's I wanted to bring up something about
Hmm.
the about how pop culture has kind of endeared us to the gangster.
Yeah.
And how the interesting thing about this is how it happens in so many different cultures. It's not just
Hmm.
the Italian mob that we've been endeared to. There's like games about Yakuza, which
Yes.
the Yakuza games from Sega.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
love those games, and they do the exact same thing. They're like they portray these characters that are like they're bad, but they have hearts of gold, and I guess that's like the appeal. It's this oh you know you've had a tough life, but you're still like there's still a human inside of you. Like that you didn't let
Right.
that dehumanize you. You're still like you still believe in like the power to like the little people and like trying to help them wherever you can and like
And loyalty and
it's
honor.
yeah, and there's like those themes of family and loyalty and the conflicts that come through that too, and how there's people who are like the worst of the worst are the ones who are we should be careful with, and
Right.
it's such an interesting thing because like at the end of the day, in reality, like you probably should stay the fuck away from that shit, but like we
Yes.
have this like safe environment through narrative, through stories where we can see these people as humans and like be endeared to them instead of be afraid of them.
Right. And it's that is interesting because I do know some stuff about like the whole yakuza thing and how it's very ingrained in Japanese society. It's
Yeah.
it's ever present in Japanese society, and it's kind of like a part of it. It's what's the word? Uh
Symbiotic, like
yeah, it's like a symbiotic relationship between law enforcement and the yakuza, and there's this.
it gets ugly though. It gets ugly.
Yeah, I don't know the full extent
Um,
of it, but I did start reading I was reading a book about it, like the history of the yakuza and stuff, and how they kind of came into being in the late 1800s, I believe.
oh, that actually
Formed
would be interesting. Yeah, I want to know how that started.
Yeah, and it formed from right wing political parties in Japan.
Oh, absolutely, and they're still very much nationalists, like real life yakuza are.
Right.
So that's the dichotomy between like the reality and the fantasy of it.
Yes.
Um,
And
but
yeah,
yeah,
it's the whole thing with the origins of the Sicilian mafia, which is they call Cosa Nostra.
okay,
That originated in the 1800s in Italy, in Sicily as well, and that was in response to the government that did not care for the people in Sicily.
yes,
So
yeah. I mean
essentially,
that
you had gangsters leading Sicily and taking care of providing for the people.
yes, which is kind of what happened with Italian immigrants too. Like
Right.
law enforcement did not care. Like there was a lot of racism against Italians back in like
Yeah, that's wild to
God
me.
damn, like early 1900s.
Yes.
And that's kind of like law enforcement police did not care for those neighborhoods, so they had to have their own like law enforcement, which was the mob.
Their own
That's
brand of
kind of how.
justice.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting thing. Like there's these circumstances that create this environment. It's not like a thing that comes out of nowhere. Like oh, people are bad
Right.
because they're bad. Like
Yeah, it's
that
not.
that to me is the fascinating stuff. Like the historical context of why like there was such a huge mob presence is like New York. How
Yeah.
it all became a product of like immigration and just no oversight for the safety of these communities. And it
Yeah.
happens with every other ethnicity. I don't know why I listed there. Um, ethnicity too. Like each and every one of them had to look out for themselves. That's why there's so much racial tension between all these communities because they all just had to look out for each other.
Right.
They didn't know that they had to be united because that's just not how it worked back then. But
yeah,
it makes it contextualizes why this is a thing, and that I really appreciate. Anyway, back to JoJo.
Back to JoJo.
Last thing I bookmarked here is Mista versus Kraftwerk.
Yes, and here's the funny thing. The translation was like arts and crafts.
I hate
that so much.
I am trying to say the actual names because they're cool as fuck.
Well, because they're named after bands.
Yes, and I love Kraftwerk.
Well, don't you mean arts and crafts? That was a great stand. That was a great stand. God. So that's the stand where the guy can freeze stuff in midair, right?
Yes, like anything around him can stop.
Yeah, see, that was great.
About this fight. The thing I love about this fight is Mista constantly telling this truck driver to stop the truck, and then why did you stop the truck?
And then the truck driver's like, "What the fuck do you want me to do?"
Yes, this is when Mista became my favorite in the gang. Like
he's lovable for sure.
This driver was like, "Which one is it?"
you dumbass. It was so good, and yeah, that was a very formidable stand power because he could essentially stop bullets. So, and then he was like tapping the bullets and like charging them up to shoot Mista.
Yes, very high tension. This also starts Mista's character trope of getting himself shot by his own fucking bullets.
Oh, holy shit. How many times has this guy gotten shot by his own bullets?
His own bullet. This is again why it's like me for real. Like, this is what would if I was Mista, I would be getting myself shot by my own bullets too.
And he has little guys that are supposed to help him with his bullets, but he still gets shot.
And then last highlight is Trish gets introduced in this volume.
Yay, Trish!
We love Trish.
She's kind of there. She's pretty. Woo!
She's kind of there. She's pretty, but I do like her stand, and I do like that spicy lady in the translation.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's goofy as fuck.
Holy crap! I hate it.
But yeah, it's totally Spice Girl. It's totally wannabe. We love it. I actually really like the scene when she discovers her stand. It's so cool. Like,
right.
When she's like, "What is that? Like, I hear a woman's voice. Is that my voice?" And
so
it's her stand like empowering her. I love it.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. It's like I want to finish my reread.
Oh, what? How far did you get?
I got up to the part where after White Album, where they fight the dude who's like encased in ice and he's ice skating and like
okay, so yeah, we'll stop there.
Freezing
we'll stop there when I get to it.
Mista's fingers off and all that.
Oh my god.
And then the part with King Crimson. So Bruno brings Trish into the tower and King Crimson ambushes him.
Yeah, that's the climax of I feel like that after that is when shit gets for real.
Oh yeah. I mean,
actually no. I take it back. The only part I bookmarked in Volume 3 is when Prosciutto and Pesci appear.
Oh, God.
This, to me, was the turning point.
Pesci is... Ugh. He's so weird.
Them. I'm sorry. Prosciutto and Pesci
is They're your besties?
I'm sorry. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm in this now. I'm in this.
You like Beach Boy? I mean, Fisherman.
Beach Boy and I forgot.
Grateful Dead, but they call it Thankful Death.
Yeah. No, but I'm sorry when Prosciutto's like I bookmarked it because it's my favorite moment in because this is when I was like. Okay, the problem I had with early JoJo Part 5, I don't like when villains are stupid and assholes.
Oh yeah, I don't like that either. I agree with you. They're a little bit more endearing, Pesci and
not
Dude.
endearing because they Pesci dude
Whatever his name
prosciutto.
was, prosciutto. Yeah.
Yeah, not just endearing because they have like this weird like not weird. They have like this genuinely powerful bond,
Mm-hmm.
like brotherly bond. He's like,
Just bros being
"You're a
bros.
Pesci. You lost your nerve." This is
Yeah.
my favorite moment. Is when they say when prosciutto's like telling Pesci, "We don't fuck around. We don't tell people we're gonna do a thing and then not do it. By the time we think I'll kill him, we've already finished the deed." And he shoots Mista in the fucking head.
Oh, I love that line.
And when I saw that, I was like, "Holy fucking shit! This is for real now."
And then Bruno said that same line to them when he
Yep.
when he quote unquote zipper manned them. No, not sticky fingers. It's zipper man. It's funny. My wife and I laugh about that when we're watching the anime because he's like
Oh
sticky
crap! I didn't know it was
fingers,
sticky.
and then it's in the translation at the captions at the bottom. It's like zipper man.
They didn't even try with that one. I
I
actually didn't know sticky fingers.
know. Dude with zippers.
But yeah, Grateful Dead is such a cool stand too.
So, yeah, yeah.
This whole
Grateful
train
Dead. The
sequence,
train
this
sequence.
whole train sequence, Mista getting shot in the fucking head, uh, Prosciutto being swag as fuck, Pesci being
Swag.
scared at first, but then finding this conviction. Like, there's a panel where his expression changes, and he becomes a fucking badass.
Yes, and
And I love.
he
I was like, "Holy fuck! This is what I'm looking for." I want to be scared. I want to be intimidated by these villains, and that was amazing. Like he goes ham on Bruno, and Bruno has to like zipper himself apart so that the Beach Boy fishing line can't detect his heartbeat. It
yes.
is one of the craziest moments in
It
this series.
it's
I
one of the
fucking
first
loved
times Bruno basically kills himself.
it. True, true.
It's one of the first. It's like the first time he dies, pretty much. Um,
But I love that
it
scene
was
when he's
yeah,
like on the floor, unable to breathe,
it was a great
almost dying.
yeah, it was a great sequence, and then he does the same to Pesci. He just zippers him apart,
Oh my goodness!
and then let's not forget what's the baby one? It's like the translation's like baby
my
head. Is it
God.
baby face? Is
Right,
that
I think it's Babyface. I'm gonna double check and make sure. That is one of the weirdest stands.
okay? So he has like a computer. He like puts your blood in it, and then like he answers questions like on a survey almost, and then it makes a stand that fucks you.
It's and then you get pregnant.
Yeah, and then the baby's born like immediately.
It's like it's almost a little too uncomfortable if
Yeah,
you think
it's
about
a bit rapey. It's a bit rapey.
it. It's extremely rapey.
It's the
So-
first. It's the first stand that's a raper.
I at first I thought it was funny because I did think like that whole sequence where he's like, "Oh, you're perfect. You're perfect for this."
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you all these questions. And this lady's like, "What are you doing here? Get out of this train!" And he's like, "No. Let me just finish this. Let me just finish this up. You're doing great. You're doing great,
Let
by
me
the way."
just finish this. No, wait. Let me finish. No, wait. Let me
She
finish.
slaps him, and he's like, "Oh my god, yes, you're perfect. You have the physical ability as well. And he's just being a turbo creeper on her.
Yeah.
And then a baby comes out of her.
Like-
and the best part is, this baby stand is a piece of shit. Like, the older it gets, the less it listens to.
It doesn't listen, and it almost killed Giorno. It like took cubes out of his face
It actually
and his
did,
neck.
yeah. I can confirm the Japanese name is Babyface.
Yeah, baby face. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What a weird ass stand.
I know. And
It's like, oh, my stand, it's gonna put its cock in you. You know.
it is very.
It's like I don't like this. Why do we have to do?
know.
Why do we have to do this?
No.
Fucking-
Even though I did think.
Fucking Melone.
Melone. Even though I did think he was funny.
Yeah, he's
I
kind of a
did
weirdo.
bookmark. I did bookmark the scene when Bruno goes. "Yada, yada, 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 yada." Arrivederci.
Yes. Yes.
It's perfect because you see one panel and then you turn the page and he's doing the thing with his hand. Arrivederci. And
Yes.
it's perfect. I laughed so hard when he did this.
Uh,
Because I like, even though I knew that's his thing, because I played the All-Star Battle game
yep.
and he does that. That's one of his supers.
I do. That
Not
is a good game.
expecting it. Yeah, not expecting it was like just did it for me. And then we get to Babyface. That's creepy as shit. Although I do love how he gets fucked. Like, his tongue turns into a snake.
Oh
No,
yeah.
actually, a snake bites his
A
tongue.
snake bites his tongue, yes, and then
Yeah, a
that's
snake
how he
comes
dies.
out of. Wait, where is it? Let me find it. Let me find it. It's such a good panel too. Uh, why didn't I bookmark it? It's such a good. It's like he gets his comeuppance. It's great. Uh, but yeah, and then after that we get you said a White Album, yes, which is
Yes, we've got
Ghiaccio, I believe
doing
is
all
the
his
stand
ice
user.
capades, and then
His
do you want to save? Should we start on King Crimson now, or kick off our next episode with King Crimson?
how about we talk about how Ghiaccio gets really fucking upset at these figure of speeches like elbow grease.
Yeah, he's like, "What is grease supposed to come out of an elbow? I don't get it. It's not
And
good because I don't get it."
he starts punching the dashboard of his car.
He's
And it's
so
wrecked.
fucking angry, just
He's so
because
angry at this.
he's angry at like a fucking expression, a turn of phrase. He's like, he just won't have it.
He won't have it. And then
I w-
he does the same thing when people are like, why do people say Venice instead of Venetia?
Yeah, those little quirks that Araki puts into his characters really kind of bring them to life.
Yep.
Like I really think that's great character development when or rather characterization when you have those little unique traits that you give each character. Even if they seem like weird and out there, it's like some people are just weird and out there.
Yes. I read in an interview that a lot of his characters are inspired by people he met. Like,
That's
at some
amazing.
Yeah. So this actually the King Crimson is a good stopping point. This is volume 5, which is the halfway
Yes.
point. So I'll just say at the end of the White Album fight, one of my favorite panels when Giorno picks up Mista from the ground, who is riddled with his own bullets, of course.
Of course.
Because they ricocheted out of all the shards of Blizzard, like shards that are like around White Album. Which, by the way, I really like White Album as a villain. Like this stand is kind of terrifying.
It is. It's basically invincible almost.
Yeah, and I love that like he just kicks him to he's like on a lamppost or something that broke, and he kicks him so hard that it like shatters his armor, and he just fucking dies. Like Giorno, cold as fuck in this moment.
Yeah, he the dude with the White Album stand, he froze his
Chill,
own
yeah.
he froze his own blood behind his head so that he couldn't move back further or something. But he did, and it went through his neck or back of his head, and he died.
Then one of rip, and then one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite lines from Giorno. Mista, your determination shines more radiantly than the morning sun. You've
Oh my
lit the
god.
path we must take forward into our future.
I do love that. I love the inspirational speeches.
Yep.
And
leader.
the part where it looks like he's gonna like suck off Mista and Narancha is like
Immediately after, yes.
he's like on a bench and he's crouching down next to Mista and he's like, Jordan, no, be gentle with me. And then
That's
like
too hard.
and then Narancha's like, I didn't see anything.
I feel bad. It looks like Narancha's crying. I don't think he liked what he saw.
He's scarred for life. The poor boy.
Sad. But yeah, I think that's a good stopping point because right after is when they approach
King
the hideout
Crimson.
of the boss and encounter one of the most terrifying stands.
Holy crap.
JoJo.
King Crimson is terrifying.
We didn't even talk about Purple Haze and how it's like the most overpowered stand.
And that's why
Uh,
Fugo was cut from the comic.
it's literally had to write him off because it's like,
Oh fuck!
holy shit,
I made him too powerful.
stop him. And I was here thinking, oh shit, they're gonna fight him later. Nope, he never shows up. He disappears.
It's like, yeah, he creates a virus that literally destroys everything in the vicinity.
Yes, it's like a step down from like Green Day, which shows up later.
Right.
I read that there's a I don't know if it's like fan made or like official, but there is like an extra chapter that explains what Fugo was doing during that time after they separate.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it always bothered me. It always seemed like a real. It seemed like, what the fuck? He's okay.
Yes.
He's there for the ride like the whole time, but then suddenly he wants none of it all of a sudden.
I love that scene when Bruno's on the boat and he's like, if any of you guys want out, this is the time. This is your chance. If I was Bruno, I would be like, except for you, Fugo, get on the fucking boat.
Get on the boat.
Yes.
Get on the boat, bitch. We're going to Taco Bell.
Oh, I will report that I did have some Taco Bell recently.
I'm probably... you know what? Maybe I'll get that today.
I might get it next time we talk.
Okay.
Not today.
Fair enough.
I got some pad thai in the fridge that I'm going to eat after this.
Sounds delish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah,
when we come back with our next episode, we will resume our discussion of JoJo Part 5, Golden Wind, and also... Yes.
Did I say right?
Yes, you did.
Hey, let's go.
You did it. I'm proud of you. And so next time, and we will also discuss some more mafia-related things, I'm sure. Because
I guess so, because like I didn't know.
Oh, we scratched the surface. We're in this now. We are in this.
We can talk about The Godfather. We can talk about Sopranos.
You're in the life now. I've seen Casino. Have you seen Goodfellas?
I just watched Casino. Yes, I love Goodfellas. Oh my god.
Yes.
This is just gonna be it.
The Mafia podcast. The Star Wars Mafia. That's what it's gonna be called. We're gonna rebrand ourselves.
Oh, cute. I might draw like us in like suits or something.
Do it
for that one. That'll be cute.
Do it. Make sure I have like some low cut titty thing going on.
Oh, send me reference of whatever you want to wear. I'll put it on.
We'll use it. We'll use the illustration for our background for the next part.
I want to do that. I want to do illustrations for each episode. Look forward to that.
Hey,
we'll get that.
I would love to see that from you because I am a fan of your work.
Yes, and I appreciate all the hard work you're doing with editing, and I want to do my part.
It's fun. I have fun doing it.
Yeah, I think this is where I can come in.
Heck yeah. All right, people. Meaning the people listening. Yes, Yoda, yes. So next time when we come back, part 2 of JoJo Golden Wind. Bye, everyone.
Very adjacent to Golden Dongle, which we will continue searching for.
Yes, and we'll find the Golden Dongle. Maybe it's under the couch or something.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. Thank you.